Double fertilization and triple fusion in flowering plants are the two key concepts which confuses you. Let me give you clarity in this video. Hello everyone, I am Vani. You are watching my channel, My Science Journey. Before learning about fertilization process in plants, we must learn about the structure of ovule in detail because after fertilization, these ovules are amazingly turned into seeds. So, ovules are considered as future seeds in the ovary. Ovules are located in the ovary of flower in which ovules are attached to placenta with the help of funicle. Funicle attaches to the ovule body at a point known as hilum. Let's move forward to learn about the structure of ovule in detail. Ovule contains the female reproductive cells and it is composed of three parts: the integument, the nucellus, and the female gametophyte, which is called as embryo sac. Integuments are the protective layers surrounding the nucellus, which eventually forms the seed coat. There is a small opening in the integuments called micropyle to allow pollen tube in reaching the embryo sac. Nucellus is the diploid central tissue within the integuments. Here, in nucellus, the female gametophyte called as embryo sac develops. Female gametophyte, that is embryo sac, contains the egg and other cells which are involved in fertilization. The most important part in the ovule is embryo sac. Let's learn how embryo sac is formed in the ovule. Basically, ovule is filled with a tissue called nucellus. By a self-fade transition, a cell closer to a micropylar region in this nucellus changes its identity and becomes a megaspore mother cell. Now, megasporogenesis takes place, which means this megaspore mother cell undergoes meiosis to produce 4 megaspores. Because when a diploid cell undergoes meiosis, it produces 4 haploid megaspores. Among these 4, 3 will be degenerated and 1 remains functional. This functional haploid megaspore undergoes 3 mitotic divisions. Actually, 2 nuclei formed after first mitotic division moves away from each other. That means one moves towards chalaza region and one more towards micropyle region and continues second and third mitotic divisions, resulting 8 haploid cells which will form embryo sac. Among them, 3 cells which are at chalaza region converts into antipodals which have no function, and 3 more cells at micropylar region are turned into 1 egg cell and 2 synergids. This is called egg apparatus. Remaining 2 cells from opposite groups reaches to the center of the embryo sac. These 2 middle cells in the embryo sac are formed into central cell by uniting each other containing 2 polar nuclei. These 2 haploid nuclei fuses together to form diploid nucleus just before fertilization. Let's move a little more forward to learn about fertilization process in flowering plants. In pollen grains, an unequal division of nucleus called as pollen mitosis 1 takes place, resulting in the formation of larger and smaller nucleus. Larger one is called as vegetative nucleus or tube nucleus, whereas smaller one is called generative nucleus. After reaching the stigma, pollen grain gets germinated by absorbing the substances present in stigma. This liquid substances mainly contains boron, calcium and water. Remember, boron plays a crucial role in the germination of pollen grain. Boron deficiency on the stigma leads to infertility in plants. Okay, now vegetative nucleus induces the pollen tube to be formed and enter into style of the gynoecium, that is pistil. Pollen tube, which is carrying vegetative nucleus and generative nucleus, goes on growing towards the ovule. Generative nucleus, called male nucleus, divides mitotically and forms into 2 generative nuclei on the way. By the time pollen tube reaches the ovule through micropyle, vegetative nucleus disappears. Meanwhile, tip of the pollen tube gets ruptured and 1 male nucleus reaches the egg cell to fertilize. Here, synergids called as helper cells help male nucleus to reach egg cell in identifying and fertilizing, resulting in the formation of diploid zygote. This is the first fertilization took place in the ovule. This process is not stopped because one more male nucleus in the pollen tube moves forward and reaches the polar nucleus, which is in diploid state, and fertilizes that to form triploid secondary nucleus. This is the second fertilization in the ovule. This is the reason why it is called as double fertilization in the ovule of flowering plants. As the haploid second male nucleus fuses with the polar nuclei, which is in diploid state, to form secondary nucleus, that is, to fertilize it, it is called triple fusion. As a result, diploid cells containing endosperm is formed. This secondary nucleus further divided mitotically to form endosperm, which is nothing but the food reserve for the developing embryo as well as to germinating seed. After fertilization, integuments on the ovule are grown into seed coats, ovary in the pistil grown into fruit, and fertilized ovules grown into seeds. Remember, here we discussed about this whole process only in one ovule. Same process takes place in all the ovules present in the ovary of the gynoecium of the flowers. We know that some fruits have one seed, some more may have two, three, and so on. Some fruits may have n number of seeds. All those seeds are formed in this way only. Got it? Hope you got clarity on this. So let's review. Ovule is composed of three parts, namely integuments, nucellus, and embryo sac. The most important part in the ovule is embryo sac. Micropyle is the way through which pollen tube enters the ovule. Embryo sac is formed from one of the cells of nucellus by a cell-fate transition. Embryo sac is 7-celled, 8-nucleotide in condition at its maturity. Synergids are known as helper cells. Boron plays a crucial role in the germination of pollen grains. Fertilization of egg cell followed by polar nucleus by two male nuclei is called double fertilization. Fusion of two polar nuclei with second male nucleus is called triple fusion to form triploid endosperm cells. Check your ability by answering few questions. Hope you had a pleasant video which made you stick on to the concept to make yourself better. If you came to this end point along with me, I am sure that you liked it. So please like it and subscribe for more coming up videos. Thank you so much for watching.